quite a few people will probably watch this, so this will probably be my official-ish announcement on it. Shop and bartering system had this huge plan that we were going to follow, but it didn't. I don't know. Got into development of it. I got it working. Like, you could kind of trade with NPCs. You could deliver stuff to villagers. It felt really empty though. Even though you're probably listening to me saying this, going, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool." It felt really amateur, the way I programmed it. So that's why I delayed it. And then after I delayed it, I just never got around to actually redoing it. So yeah, I don't know. It just felt like something that was programmed by someone who had just started out on Roblox. It's embarrassing to say, but I don't regret leaving it out. In fact, I'm happy that I did, because it would have seriously made the game kind of feel, it felt strange. That's actually a good way. Well, there's Telstra going down literally the hour we planned. I remember just sitting back in my chair and legitimately thinking, what are the chances that of all of the days, like down to the hour, it was down to the hour that we wanted to release, it goes out. And I was just like, what? But
no, you're playing with me.
It is a very uncommon thing. As much as people like to crap on Telstra, if you're Australian, it's actually a decent network provider. So I was kind of really angry when I found out that it went out. I was just trying to upload to Roblox and it kept timing out. And then I checked my Discord, nothing was there. I think Panda and Visk were asleep. And I think and I was just like, because I stayed up for, I think, close to 50 hours before the release of Viper.
You just say 50.
Holy shit.
50. Oh my god.
Because a ton of stuff went wrong.
Energy drinks or what? Damn.
And I didn't finish some stuff that I kept putting off because I'm like, oh, it'll take 5 minutes to do. And then it took me like 5 hours.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. But in a weird way, I enjoy it. So, at least when my internet doesn't go out. Yeah, I think people would want to know this the most. We decide on a time based on how long it took for the previous operation, and then if we're doing something new. So like, why Viper took so long was because we realized that, I can't remember what was before that, Nightfall. We looked at how long that took, and then we, from that, decided, okay, it'll probably take us about this long to do Viper. So that's why we've been able to slowly not have to delay as long. Like the delay for Aftermath when it came out was a lot longer than we delayed for Nightfall, which was, Nightfall's delay was then longer than what we had to do for Viper, if that makes sense. We delay if we haven't finished stuff. So that's all I can say. As for quality control, it consists of me play solo in studio, and if something breaks and I fix it, I kind of just use the first 5 minutes of people playing as quality control. That's why the operation will usually come out, and then about an hour later all the servers will just shut down, because it'll be me doing a follow-up patch. Is it the best method? No, not at all. But
at least it's something. I mean,
it's as bad as this says, especially as the lead kind of developer, I kind of have just been too lazy to get around to actually getting a proper quality control team together. So
managing,
I think it's just because Platinum 5, the way we present ourselves is kind of like we're this kind of AAA studio. Like, don't get me wrong, I talk quite a bit in general, but for the most part, the developers, we stay silent, and that's because we want the information about the game to always come through official channels. So, you know, a Discord announcement, a YouTube video, something like that.
With full context, you don't want people to like just take the sense out of your general chat and then be like, "Oh, look what he said," and then yeah.
And so I'm more open to doing something like this, what we're doing now, than to just randomly answer people's questions in the Discord as we go. Because as I don't know if you guys are aware of the whole LMG debate. A lot of people have just been thinking that we're not adding LMGs because of a reason that I said 6 months ago. And you know, I really regret saying that.
That was not at the time. Chat? Or okay.
Yeah, I just said it in a general chat. And at the time I didn't regret it because that was the reason. But the thing is, this stuff comes back to bite you. And I didn't realize, but a lot of people still thought that was the reason. Just wanted to say, the thing I was getting to with that is, because people think that we are some huge AAA studio, or at least we act like one, they think that we can pull off like anything, like we can make anything happen in the game. Truth is, I'm an intermediate, maybe advanced programmer. You know, I can't actually program anything I want. Same goes for modeling. We do have our limitations, and that's why some stuff hasn't been added, simply because, as sad as it sounds to say this, we can't. Like, we don't know how. At least we don't know how to do it well. But so the current raid mode mission is not as good as it was supposed to be. And it kind of misses what it was supposed to,
the story, or like
no, just like how it played out. Yeah, I don't really know the words for it, even though I developed it, whatever.
Was it like time
the second episode?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I was working on it up until the release. Like, I was working on it the whole week. And I scrapped the entirety of it 1 week before release because I didn't like it, and I redid it from scratch. So that's why it's kind of like, it feels a little incomplete, but I'm happy most people still liked it.
I enjoy it a lot. The other thing is kind of my bigger critique of raid mode, or at least the first missions, that feels a bit linear. The invisible barriers on the roof.
100%.
Are there any plans to change that, though?
I don't plan to rework the first mission just because it gives me PTSD. But for the missions coming, we plan to give them a lot more thought, so that sort of feeling that you're just following the game isn't there. I do want it to make it feel like you're actually in this scenario and you're playing it out how you want, rather than, you know, just following
with
stuff.
The like new like episodes of the raid missions. I don't know if you want to say it, but like would we see like a variety of new AI types and such, like enemies, or like how challenging do you think it would how challenging do you think it would get as we go through the mission?
We're gonna have kind of like two types of missions. There'll be the more story driven ones, which is what the next episode will be most likely, where it's kind of easy, basic enemies, but it will actually, like, you'll feel like you're in a movie.
Like the lore, like you'll get more story. Okay.
Yeah. But then we're also going to have the death trap missions.
Oh.
Where you really will be expected to either play with a team or be like a 5-star insane player if you want to clear it. And in those ones, yeah, we'll probably have new enemy types. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why not. We've talked about it. It is. I feel so awful. Just keep saying this, but it is just a thing of eventually we'll get to it. You know.
Is it also because my bad? But was it because of like the water, like how it takes up so much room, like storage for like Roblox or memory, whatever it was? I've seen something. Around that. Yeah.
That's the other reason is water. Like the actual terrain voxel on the map, very memory intensive. Like if we were to make, like a lot of people ask, can you make the water deeper? And it's like, they don't realize if we make the water deeper by
it's a shit ton.
8 studs, it will add like half a gigabyte into memory. And it's like the trade-off for that is just not worth it. Roblox did say that they're improving performance, and I think they actually already pushed the update. But until I see actual results, unfortunately, the water won't get deeper. And until the water gets deeper, there won't be any water vehicles. I mean, for the most part, most people know by now that a lot of the official factions have been given a one-time offer to test out Zeus over the next like week. There are still no plans to give it to public yet. But it will be like, if you have a faction, doesn't have to be official, but if you have a faction it's being used, then we might give it to you. We'll see. It's more, it's not because I want it to be this high tier thing that only the elites can use. It's just because with Zeus you can make some questionable things, so I need to be careful who is given access to it, as to not make the game look bad. There's a lot of confusion around that. Yeah, I'll quickly address that. I was not a moderator for BRM 2. I just played it a lot, but then I got in contact with, I can't remember who it was exactly, but it was one of the like co-creators, and I was like, hey, can I make BRM 5? Am I cool to use this name? And he was like, yeah, sure, go for it. And then I was given moderator from that. And then
wow.
And then the real Platinum 5 came back, and I've never spoken to him, and I don't actually know if he's okay with me using his name.
Oh.
But considering he hasn't told me to stop, I haven't got a DMCA, and the other person who like co-created the game told me it was okay to use it, then
I guess I guess it's fine. I mean, you would have known early.
I'm gonna be real. This might be sad to hear, but I'm never making a military-themed game again.
You had you're like, after this, you're like, you know
what?
Too much pressure.
It's for one, I've just had a military themed overload of, because I get that a lot of people, guns and that sort of stuff is their hobby, but I just kind of have a mild interest in it, which probably sounds weird considering I created the project. So it is a little overwhelming to come back and develop a game that is just about shooting people all the time. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bland to develop because it's a really basic concept, and I get jealous seeing all of these other games, their programmers are making stuff like really cool effects, and I can't do that because it doesn't fit in the genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, if you were to like create another type, like what would you want to go into? Like your ideal, like if it wasn't a military type.
I wanted to make a MMO, but MMORPG, but it's quite a hard market to get into right now, at least on Roblox, just because of like the release of World Zero, and there are a few other ones that are pretty big. So I'm sticking with BRM for now. There's a lot of optimizations that go in the background. A lot of people forget just how intensive a game like this is, because you've got a server of 20 players or more. I think it's 20. And every single player has their own unique vest, their own unique weapon, all with different customizations. Compare that to Phantom Forces, where it's only a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the third person model. Yeah, exactly. So you know, trying to make it work for our game is really hard, to say the least. And to be quite honest, like I was saying earlier, there does come a point where there's a limit to my knowledge. There are a few things that I don't know how to do when it comes to optimizations. Just a matter of learning it.
And I think that's one of the bigger issues with the community is that they expect, you know, these sent from up high updates. Like they expect miracles every single week. Although I will say, I guess, in to some extent or another, it is kind of your fault for presenting it that way. That you're this magical being. Snap the fingers, the game is fixed.
It really is. I've gotten to talk to. Yeah, well, I'm doing my best to not repeat that mistake. But hey, man, it's me. I'll probably do it again.
Like when players reach 5 stars, they either like join a faction and then like play open world, or like when they're 5 stars, they move to PvP and then they play that for like a couple of weeks and they quit the game, or like they come back to it when it's an update. Like I just feel like there should be something that like, obviously it's so hard for you, honestly. Like you're probably already thought of like every possible option to like not make the game like stale and like repetitive again, but because it's like if the new players, because what I think is happening is like the new players are finding the game and then they're grinding it out so quickly and then they leave the game after when they're done grinding it. Maybe they play like a PvP or raid mode here and there and then they dip. But if you brought back all the 5-star players, I'm sure the game would be like 3,000 maybe. If you gave the 5-star players a reason to come back consistently, that's what I would think the player count would go up drastically.
No, 100%. That's one of the gameplay flaws that we've noticed, and it's also one of the you know, karma things we get for not properly planning out the game before we started it. There's not really an end game right now. You get to 5 stars and then it's kind of like do what you want. We have things that we're gonna add. Obviously I don't want to give too much away. It's kind of the 5 way. But I'm not gonna hype it up as if it's some crazy thing that will fix the issue, but we're definitely working on ways, even if small. We're working on a lot of stuff to try and bring back a reason for people to keep playing. That was the missile silo thing was the first thing on the new map that was actually built. So we got quite a bit of work, but then okay.
And
then that happened.
It was in testing. It was really fun, but we were like, hey, let's leave it and let's make it something cool that, you know, in future people can do and they'll get a badge for it. And then we kept putting it off for updates over and over. We'll do it next update, and we just ended up never doing it.
And then you got people glitching.
Started glitching it, yeah. So then I talked to Panda about it. I'm like, at this point, even if we do it, it's not even going to be hype. So the current thing now is if we ever do finish that area, it will actually be completely different from what it looks like now. Like we'll rework it from scratch.
People have gotten like banned for glitching in it nowadays.
No, I don't think it matters now.
When it first happened, we started banning people, but then I kind of had a change of heart. I'm like, yeah, it's my fault for having glitches, and it's kind of like the man. There was also too much work to ban everyone, so we didn't unban anyone. But if you were banned, you can actually PM us and we'll unban you if you really want it. Originally, we were gonna have a second city there, and to be honest, we could have, but like at least asset wise, and we had the time to kind of do it, but then we can't just push out a ton of stuff in one update because that would lag the game quite a bit. At least we think. So we planned to do it gradually, as in add the north base and then slowly bring it in. But then obviously, like, so I got busy. Most of the devs either studying or also on like vacation away from computer. So Haven't got around to actually doing it.
I still have like anti-air there, specifically at Fort Ronnegrad. Are those going to be functional?
Yo, those are sick when I seen them, man. Oh man.
Yeah, I really wanted to make them functional, but we decided not to because of a reason that I don't really want to give it away. But when I get around to doing the flight update, they'll be enabled for good reason.
Well, looking forward.
That's all I can really say.
Okay. I see.
You can thank Panda was the one who decided to do that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's how I found out about Rhino.
Oh hell yeah!
There you go.
Because I don't do too much digging on YouTube. Yeah, but kind of makes me sad because in comparison to some of the other guys, as in just other people on YouTube making somewhat BRM content, your stuff's really really high quality. Like the one you made of like the PvP faction war, that was actually really enjoyable to watch. I've been working with Panda since 2016, so me and him, we worked on Bloxwood, and then eventually, after quite a few failed projects, as in either didn't get made or didn't really spark interest in anyone, BRM was made as a side project. Panda wasn't even on it originally. I was just doing it solo. But then, hey, it picked up some people. So
Panda said, "Hey, what's up?"
We kind of just went. We kind of just kept going, and that's one of the reasons why the gameplay in BRM is it gets a little dry after a while. It's because we never actually had a proper plan for this game. We've just been kind of winging it this whole time. But hey, it's gone okay so far.